So we have our first crowdfunding. It's technically not a Kickstarter, because it's not the platform that was used. But our first crowdfunding story of season 2, and technically of 2018, even though we did some stuff after. We did some stuff in January, right? We did. So I mean, it's technically not, but I consider it is our first. So anyway, I make the rules of time. So anyway, what matters is that we're talking about Twin Signal Manga. The Twin Signal Manga.
Your 10 is showing.
Why, yeah, right? My twins. I had the brainy specs on. The Twin Signal Manga is coming. Now, what is Twin Signal? What is manga? Well, I would hope you know what manga is if you're here. Basically, so Twin Signal was a manga that originally came out years ago. Media Blasters released, I think, the only 2 volumes in 20... Oh, the first 2. So there were more. But the first 2 volumes in 2006. I don't know if they ever finished them up. From the looks of it, they probably did not. Yeah, so, okay, there actually were 19 volumes. So I imagine that, no, they were never finished up in the U.S., what's also interesting is the fact that Media Blasters did release a DVD of the OVA, because the OVA came out in '95, so you could potentially buy, second, third, fourth, fifth hand the OVA. You can probably get those first 2 volumes as well, even though they were clearly not wrapped up, sadly. But there is a sequel to that, so if any of you that were fans of this for years, that were thinking, man, I wish there was a sequel, well, it's here. On a crowdfunding campaign on a website called Campfire. I've never really heard of it. It was for a sequel to the manga from the manga creator. So Sachi Oshimizu, actually the creator of the manga, was like, hey, you know what? I would like to make more of this. Let's see if the fans really want it. And this, to me, dude, this is why I love crowdfunding campaigns. This is not some big company coming in trying to say, you know what? We could afford it, but you're gonna foot the bill. No, this is a manga creator like, you know what? If people want it, then they fund it. If people don't want it, then I guess it doesn't come out. Right. Because from the looks of it, this is not going to be, this is not through a different company. From the looks of it, it is just the manga creator being like, hey, do you guys actually want this?
Want it, yeah.
And apparently they do, because they funded it. Here's what's interesting. The project launched April 19th. And it was trying to raise 4 million yen, which sounds like a lot of yen, but in the U.S. it's actually $37,200, which for a 10-chapter manga, I think it's fair, because this is straight through her, straight through her from the looks of it. It's not meant to be from the looks of it. It's not going to be published in some magazine or something like that. So it looks like Sachi Oshimizu is actually hiring people themselves, right? So it's all through them. It's not going to be... it's funny, I want to make sure that I'm getting this person's gender right, and nothing is helping at all. Thank you, Internet. But anyway, my point is that it seems as if this is all being done through them, and then it's okay, in my opinion, to have this crowdfunding. Nothing against Funimation or some of the other companies that have done crowdfunding campaigns, but I will admit that sometimes, depending on the crowdfunding, I'm not going to pick on anyone in particular, but I think you and I have discussed this in the past, Tristan. Sometimes, well, it's really nice that a company wants to try and get the crowd, the fans in on it. Other times it can be like, wait, guys, can't you afford this yourself? Right. Or why can't you, right? Yeah. And again, in some cases, they pay for licensing costs. It's really just for dubbing costs, or to really see if fans care, right? Because if they care, then they'll put money towards the licensing costs, which is completely separate from these Kickstarters. But in this case, it's just an actual, straight from the author's mouth. Just, hey, or, from the author's hand in this case. Just, hey, if you want this, come get it. And they raised not only all of the money, they raised more to then extend it to a 15-chapter manga. Which means that I imagine if it's going to be a 4-chapter per volume type thing, or if it's digital, which means that they save even more costs, then if it's digital, they just all go up whenever they go up, right? Once a month or something like that. But if they're going to be wrapped up into, 4 chapters per manga, then now a 3-volume manga is now going to be a 5-volume manga-ish. Right? Well, 15. So 4, 8, 12. Well, 4-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on how they split it up, right? But still, very interesting. So that, I think, is what's really cool, is that they're supposed to raise $37,200, but they actually ended up raising, please stop, my phone is freaking out, 77,630, which is, again, is USD, but in yen, it's 8.5 million. So they raised 8.5 million yen. Tristan, I don't know about you, that's a lot of yen. Yeah. By the way, as of this, well, it says as of press time. So when the article came out, which I'm going to make sure the article came out this past, it was like a few days ago. Although maybe technically a week, depending on, because we talk about last week's news here. But by the time this clip comes out, it might be a few days later. My point is that as of the article, when it came out, which will be in the description box below, don't worry, guys. This, the actual project raised $95,143, which in yen is 10,417,575 yen. That's a lot. A yen, Tristan. I'm not a yen man. I don't know much about that yen. 10 million.
It's 95,000
USD. That's money.
Yeah.
And you know what it is too? I think it's great because, again, the original goal was, to me, modest at $37,200. Like, hey, I'm gonna pay, I'm gonna pay the people to ink this. I'm gonna pay other people to assist me on this. Of course, I assume the artist is, going in on this as well. But again, you need those assistants to help you create what I imagine is going to be like a 40-page or 30-page per chapter, right? I imagine. I don't have the details on hand, but usually, I would hope that if they're going to release this if the original goal was to release it as 10 chapters, I would imagine it wouldn't be 20 pages or 19 pages. I imagine it would be closer to 30. That's just my speculation there, right? So with that speculation in mind, my thought was, oh, okay, you need, even at 20, you still need people to help you, right, to put this out. But still, you need a lot more people if it's 30, right? And so I thought that, in my opinion, for 10 chapters, 37,200 in US, modest, right?
Right.
But man, dude, like getting to the point where it's not only a stretch goal, but now it's gone even farther than that stretch goal. That's amazing. Right. So kudos to this creator. I hope I really hope one day there's a way to get this in English in some form or another. But I mean, of course, we'd have to hope that we can get the original in English as well.
Yeah.
But actually, I should mention, the sequel's title will be Twin Signal Biennial, alright? And it will run as a free serialization on the Medibang app and website. So, in theory, I mean, at least as, on the website itself, it's free.
Right.
Now, I don't know what that means in terms of, because let's all remember, that doesn't technically mean that legally you can take it, translate it, and put it online for free.
Yeah.
It doesn't technically mean that. But it is free, and frankly, I think that's really cool because, again, it really just shows you that, not everyone has to, okay, I'm not going to say that everyone has to do this because, again, people do have to make money, yes. But I do wonder if, the fact that it getting so much money compared to what it originally was, asked of the campaign, I do wonder if at that point they were like, you know what, it can be free now. We can, we can pay our staff, and we can be well fed, right? And I'm sure this creator is also getting royalties from their first manga, I would hope, right? The first one, and I'm sure other manga as well. So I'm sure the creator's sitting back like, you know what? Yeah, we can put this out for free, especially because it's only going to be 15 chapters. I don't know if there's going to be a graphic novel or a tankobon. I don't know if that's going to happen, right? Like a physical release. But even if there was, then I'd be like, yeah, charge him, right? But this is awesome. I mean, so again, really happy about this campaign. Really happy about it being free. Sure, I probably won't be able to read it, but you know what? I can't read the first one anyway, so I'd be lost. So I'm okay with that, right? But yeah, no, I hope this manga, both the original and the sequel, get brought to the U.S. in the future. Maybe there needs to be a Kickstarter type campaign. That's what we need. We need campaigns, funding campaigns, funding campaigns. It's just like a campaign chain. I think that'd be great. But what are your thoughts, Tristan? I think it's cool.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to see, if fans really want something made, it's cool to see that they're willing to, throw money at it to see it get made.
Yeah, and I think, and also I think too, is just not being a big corporation. Not that we're anti.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. We can be anti-corporation, but not like we're anti-companies, and not we're anti we understand yes, there might be a problem with a corporation, but at the end of the day, someone needs to get fed at the bottom. Right?
Right.
So that's why we end up giving money, to these anime. Because if we're trying to sit there and be like, no, anti-corporation, man, the system, screw the system. At the end of the day, you're screwing someone else, not just the system. Right? That's my take on it. But my whole point, though, is that, we can kind of talk about being anti-corporation. But we are fans of capitalism, to a certain degree. And frankly, just in general, just having this creator... Because... it is a bit different, right, than having like a big company come in. So I think that's cool as well. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, right? Just having, isn't it great? Like, just have this creator just being like, do you guys really want it? The fans being like, hell yeah, we do.
Right.
That's also
and it
cool
must
too.
Feel great as, from the creator's point of view to see people actually like come out of the woodwork to be like, yes, we want this.
For something that ended in 2001. Right. This is a 17, I was going to say 16, but I remembered what year we're in. A 17-year-old manga.
Wow.
I mean, it's technically an older manga if you count when it was first published, but still, it ended in 2001. Right?
Yeah.
No, because it was first published in 92. Holy shit. Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, holy shit. But it ended in 01. Well, because, hey, it was 19 volumes. It had to start, earlier than 2000s. But, so it started in 92, ended in 01, and this is crazy, right? 17 years later, you have people being like, hey, let's see where these characters are. That's awesome. So, kudos to all of this.